Yeah, one of my friends, Vincent, is literally just did that transition from singing backgrounds and singing in sessions and singing for work to now being on that TV show The Four and selling out the Troubadour, and it was so fun to see that evolution happen over 8 months and see. He just was strategic about it, and also had a lot of people who really wanted him to succeed. I think that's also just so important, is like being kind to everyone, so that when it is your shot, that you have people wanting you to win. And so he started doing little shows and singing in backyards, and did a residency at the Hotel Cafe for like 3 months, where first it was 15 people, then 30 people, then 60 people, then 100, and then went from a Hotel Cafe residency of 15 people to selling out the Troubadour. And also I think he's signing a record deal now, and he also evolved as an artist, but he had a manager who is just his friend, who like is in our friend group, that isn't a big manager, but they just strategized and did it together. I think it's, you come up with a long-term plan and sort of set these little goals. But I do think what's most important is, like, you know, from even my story, when it was my turn to, when I was like, okay, cool, I feel like I know who I am as an artist, I'm gonna put out a single. I thankfully had all these artists who I never had to ask once to tweet about it, to promote it, to, they wanted to. They were like, oh yeah, it's your turn. Like, go for it. We're excited. You know, so I think as long as if you have also a network of people who are excited to support and are also able to tell you, this is the song to do it with. There's nothing more uncomfortable than like a friend asking you to promote something for them that isn't good, you know? And so for me, I was like, I'm gonna like wait till I have like, till someone tells me this is the song, and I feel passionately like this is the song, to pull the trigger. So yeah, that's
yeah, and I would say that's a pretty common trajectory. I used to sing demos myself, and that's how I ended up in the room with a bunch of writers that I, ended up working with. And then in turn, I used to hire Julia Michaels to sing my song demos, which is how I ended up writing with her. And she ended up writing with, my friend Lindy Robbins, which is led to everything. So sort of being open and humble, open, aware of writing up, and like who you're in the room with, and maybe being in the room with one of those people that you're singing for will be someone that you end up collaborating with. So I think, like Leland's saying, it's like, be super cool, and people will pull you in.
Yeah, I mean, one last point I think is an example that I figured out is obviously Julia and Justin have such a handle on the Selena sound.
Yeah.
And so when I wanted to work on Selena, I stopped trying to get in a room with them or with Selena, and wrote with my two friends who I love writing with. And I was like, listen, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I know if we write a good song, like the song will get us in.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what happened. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna try to get in the room with them. They have their thing. They don't need anyone. They have it. I'm gonna be inspired by what they've done and just try to write a good enough song to get in. So I think you just do it with who you are with.